Hi everyone. Um, I debated whether or not to do an episode on this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because something deep inside me tells me I wasn't the only one that experienced this way. Um, and I am always worried about like sounding offensive or disrespectful because that is never my intention unless I'm talking about Evil Dick and his minions. Then yes, that's my intention. Um, but I had this like pretty serious sensory experience that was unexpected last night, and I just want to talk about it. And unfortunately, like it was the Fire Aid L.A. concert special, and I say unfortunately because like it was put on because of all the fire, like the LA. If you don't live in America, maybe you've heard that Los Angeles was like on fire, like all these wildfire fires were breaking out, people lost their homes. It's like fucking sad and devastating. And I just cannot believe like these things are happening. Um, and so I kind of feel bad that I'm talking about the concert because it was such a wonderful experience for me, but it was put on because of the not wonderful experience of like the fucking LA fires. And so I really hope people don't think that this is a gross episode. I just I just wanted to talk about the concert part. And I don't even remember what I just said like a minute ago, but if there's anybody out there, because I don't remember if I said this part, but if there's anybody out there that experienced this the same way or very similar to me, I need to know because I have a feeling that at least one of you is out there. Um, so just in case. And also I need to get this out of my head because it was such an experience, and I feel very strange even saying that. Basically, last night, about 10 p.m., I switched over to Peacock because I wanted to see the newest episode of The Traitors. I love that show. I love all versions of it, but I especially love the Alan Cumming version. I love Alan. Who the fuck doesn't love Alan? But anyways, so that's why I was going over to Peacock, and it had right on the homepage thingy. It said like concert benefit Fire Aid, and it listed some of the performers. I didn't even know that this was being put on, and apparently like it was announced a week or something ago. I didn't know about it. I just saw it when I happened to turn over to that channel. So I decided I'm just going to watch this. And I thought it was going to be like maybe 2, 3 hours. It was like almost 6 hours long. Not complaining. Well, I mean, there was other things I wanted to listen to. And well, that's a complaint. But anyways, I decided to just watch all 6 hours of it. This week has been crazy. I'm still like figuring this burnout stuff. And so this was the first time I just sat for hours and did nothing but like watch TV, which is like what I don't like to do. But if there are bands on and like music and yes. So for anybody that didn't watch it or heard about it, basically it was like all of the big fucking names, at least according to me, like in my opinion. Like Joni Mitchell was there, Stevie Nicks, like No Doubt had a fucking reunion. Like I don't even know if they were reunited recently, but No Doubt was there. And you know how like when you're listening to certain songs, it just brings you back to certain places. And for me, like this is going to be all over the place, but like this was a pretty I couldn't believe I had the privilege to watch something like this. Um and I'm going to get to Alanis Morissette cuz she was definitely there too. But No Doubt is one of the first things that comes to mind, and grew up with them. Tragic Kingdom, like I grew up with No Doubt, Gwen Stefani. I thought she was so cool. I remember the very first time I learned about them was I was in Hawaii. I think it was during summer. And I just remember it was a sunny day outside. I was sitting in front of the TV. I actually think I've talked about this before. And No Doubt's Spiderwebs came on the video. And this was back when like MTV was actually good. Like there were actual music videos that were being shown on a regular basis. And I remember like Hanson, the Bop song was like learned like I think that was the same day too. I was like, who the fuck are these girls? But they were guys. But anyways, and I remember like God, how much my brain lit up when I saw that song, and I don't know, it was just it did something to me. And it was around that age when I started taking music like really seriously because I didn't know how to express myself. I was growing up in an unstable home environment with unpredictable parents, mostly just the mother. She was so unpredictable. And so my good memories tend to come from music. Um, and so, like, I'm listening to these songs from these different bands, and it just takes me right back to some of the good times I had growing up, which, um, that's not where my brain tends to go when I'm thinking of childhood, because it was not a very good childhood for me. But I think music really got me through it. Actually, no, it did. Music got me through that fucking childhood. Um, and so that was cool to see, no doubt. By the way, I hope nobody takes offense to this, who's older, but like, here's like, I'm just gonna jump around. Hopefully you can follow this. This special was it was so fucking awesome on one hand, and then on the other, it was like, oh man, there's like a bunch of like all of the just about all of these musicians and artists are older. They're who I grew up with and people around my age who grew up with. And it was kind of sad in a little way to see that, like, like, because I'm obsessed with like time and age. I still don't know why, but I am. And, I see Gwen Stefani. She doesn't jump around like she used to. I mean, like, she's in what, her 50s? Her voice isn't the same. Like, a lot of these bands couldn't hold their notes because they're just older. Their voice has been their instrument for years. And I mean, shit, I saw a documentary on, was it, oh, what was that band? Well, I shouldn't have even mentioned it because I don't remember the name of the band. I just remember the dude was like, oh, like he was so upset that he couldn't like use his voice Was it Bon Jovi? Was that it? Like, these people can't use their voices the same way anymore, and it's frustrating for them. And I can't even imagine what that feels like to have made this your career for years and years and years, and then like you get older and like you've put your vocal cords through so much, and it's just like it doesn't work the same anymore. You can't hold the notes, you can't move around, like you're just getting older. And that was kind of sad because Gwen Stefani couldn't really hold notes, and like it makes me sound like, I don't know how this makes me sound. I'm not like trying to be a dick about it. I just was kind of like, when you're taken back to your childhood into those good moments, but then like it's you've also got competing is the present moment of seeing these people on the TV, and they don't sound the same as they used to. I don't know if that makes sense. It was mostly good, but that part was sad for me. Like to see a bunch of them, like Green Day. Um, I did not even know that it was Billy Joe when he was up there. I did not know who that. It was the hair. I was like, wait a minute, I know that hair. It's a different color, but I know that hair. I was like, that's got to be Green Day, and it was. And um Alanis Morissette, like she came out toward the beginning, and that's before I knew exactly who all was going to be there. I was like, oh my god, I just saw her in July, Alanis. Oh my god. And like she was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see her. She also, she doesn't quite perform the same way as she used to. So I don't know, like I just get sad about like age playing a role in, I don't know, I guess that's just life. um and people, whatever, that's not the point of this episode. Anyways, I was like, I loved watching her. Each artist did about two or three songs. It seemed to me that the bigger artists got to do three. Lady Gaga was at the end. um I thought that could have been a bit better, but maybe that's rude to say. Red Hot Chili Peppers, I never cared for them growing up because I thought they were too mainstream. But how fucking cool was it to see them perform the songs that I remember hating growing up? Like Under the Bridge, like I still hate those songs because it's just I hated mainstream music for the most part. Alanis Morissette was an exception, and so was Spice Girls. But like other than that, I liked the underground bands better. No Doubt was an exception too. Also, Ace of maybe I did like mainstream music. Hmm. Well, you know what I mean. Hopefully. So yeah, they were not that irritating to me like they used to be growing up. And Did I say Stevie Nicks? Did I say Joni Mitchell? Did I say there was like a weird, unexpected Nirvana tribute in a way? Like Dave Grohl was there, his daughter performed at one point. Like there was a few songs of like no Nirvana's being sung. I was like, where is this coming from? It was very eclectic. Like there's so many different genres and people, and I love music. Like music has always been a special interest. So I don't know. I was just like, this is a great excuse to just stop working and rest my brain and just enjoy music. So like I was shimmying in my chair, like tapping along to like the drummers and stuff. I was having a good old time. And like meanwhile, all the cats are sleeping in back here in my room. And like my wife's in the bedroom sleeping. And it's just me and this loud ass TV, and I'm having a grand old time. Um but every couple of minutes I was pulling out my phone and looking up somebody's age. Like, oh, how old are they now? And I would guess because like I don't follow people like that. Like I don't know. I know how old Alanis Morissette is and Gwen Stefani, but like Joni Mitchell, um, the rest of the people that were there, like I don't really know how old they were. And like it's just interesting for me. Like one of them was 76. I can't remember if it was Stevie Nicks or Joni Mitchell, but like one of them was like 81. I think the other was 76. And I was astounded. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're still performing. Like, how fucking cool is that? It's like royalty. And I'm seeing like younger people singing along with like these songs and these bands that like they were around decades before some of these people were born, and they were singing along. It was so cool. Um but yeah, I was on my phone a lot. Like, because I like looking up, stuff about age and like people, because people are special interest too. I don't know. Did anybody watch this? Did anybody have an experience that you were like, boom, like you're just mind like all of this fucking great music? Or was it just me? I hope it wasn't just me. I don't think it was. I really am so grateful that like I happened to find that when I did. And like I said, I feel bad that it's because of the fires that this had to be put on because they need to raise money. Um, but I don't know that I can recall ever seeing a concert slash benefit, whatever you want to call it, with that many stars. And I don't even like using the word stars, but like I was just blown away. And then there were like some of the younger ones or some of the ones I didn't really care too much for. They were like newer, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Like Jelly Roll. I don't think he's new, but I don't know. Some stuff I didn't listen to. And I used those moments to go to the bathroom and feed the cats. But anyways, I had a really good time. I felt really, really good for the first time in a long time. Just simply sitting and watching this and enjoying it and looking stuff up about people and finding out like where are they now? Like what have they been doing? Like when I saw the No Doubt members, I was looking them up. I'm like, where the fuck have you guys been? Like, you just came out of the woodwork. Like, have you been making music all these years? Have you been gone? And so it was like, I don't know. It was very relaxing to me looking up all these things. And oh, it was just so much fun. It was one of the only times I can recall like thinking back in my childhood for any extended amount of time, and it being like positive thoughts. And the kind of sad part is the memories that I had nothing to do with my family. It was just about me and where I was when I heard those bands, what I was going through. Like, I didn't even understand like a lot of the lyrics because I was so young, but like I made them fit to whatever it was I was going through. And I just was like, oh my God, like these bands, I feel so seen. Just music really, I think it saved my life. I know it did, like, there were times when I was an adult where music like talked me out of committing suicide, like it's weird. But I wonder if anybody out there like experienced something similar to that, like if you watched this in its entirety. I know not everybody has the ability to do that because like shit that went on until almost 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern time in the US, and That's like my normal bedtime. So it was nothing for me to stay up and watch it. But I know people have to go to bed for work and stuff. They don't have the luxury. But if there's anybody out there that did this and enjoyed it as much as I did, um, I don't know. It would be nice to hear from you. Is that a weird thing to ask for? Um, and I also thought it was like pretty fucking cool that they were able to get all of these big names under one roof. Although I'm not gonna lie, I did sit there the entire time in the back of my mind. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to blow the place up because you're going to lose all of these music legends. And then I was like, is anybody going to do that? Like, I'm not a terrorist. It just, ever since like 9/11 and like all the other shit that goes on around the world, like when you get a bunch of like people gathered in one spot, I don't ever not think about the possibility that something could go wrong, which that sounds kind of morbid, but I don't know. And it's like, then I have thoughts of, is the bomb gonna go off at any moment now, and like I'm gonna witness this, and like who else is witnessing this, and like how much security is there, and it's just, that doesn't sound like fun thoughts, but that's just the way my brain works, and it wasn't stressful for me to think that way. Is that fucking weird to say? That's just how I think. um so I wanted to kind of slip that in there too, because I don't know if any other people think this way. But I do, because like, yeah, I do remember where I was during 9/11. I was in Japan. This is, I don't even know if this is related. It seems like it is in my mind, but I was in Japan, and oh shit, it was like 2011, wait, 2001. It was like a year before I left home, and I remember it was like middle of the night Japan. I was awake watching TV in my room when I wasn't supposed to be. Everybody else was sleeping. And I just saw the 9/11 like just take place on my TV screen. And I remember being shocked, like, what the, like, like, what is this? Like, what is this? And it just, I don't know, it really changed how I saw like the world. I don't know if that even makes sense because I wasn't personally affected by 9/11. But I remember like being dismayed that something like that could actually happen. And I was so young and ignorant anyways. So, but ever since then, and then like, I lived in England when, was it 2007 or 2005 maybe, where like the tubes were being bombed. Like that's a whole story in itself. Like I narrowly escaped being on one of the tubes when they were being bombed. Is that what you still call it? Like the train in England? Um, that was a whole thing too. And like, I don't know, like, why I'm even bringing those up, but it's just like certain moments change the way I think and feel and like see things. And I don't know. And I don't know why I got onto that from this music benefit. I'm sure it connected somehow when you were able to figure it out, right? And I just forgot. I don't know where I was going with all of that. Um, Now I'm regretting. How much time did I? Oh, well, 18 minutes. I'm just gonna probably publish this and hope that nobody listens like usual. But then like if somebody is listening and any of this fucking is relatable to you, please let me know. Because um I don't know if this will ever stop. I wish it would, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to the point where I stop having thoughts of, does anybody else think this way? Is it just me? Was I the only one doing this just now? Like, because there's something to be said about like having a collective experience. Um, I don't even know if that made sense. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, like collective, like how, oh, I don't know how am I gonna word this? This is gonna be like the most ridiculous like example. So like when Ronda Rousey back before I knew she was a bitch, when she used to be known for her arm bars in MMA. And it was like you just expected that bitch to win, like nobody could beat her. And then the first time she got beat by the last person I thought was gonna beat her, Holly Holm, like I just felt inside like when Ronda Rousey lost that fight years and years ago, it just in something in me felt like I could tap into like so many other people's emotions during that time. Like, oh God, this sounds dumb. How do I say this properly? Like I know I could feel like so many people were just as shocked as I was. When Evil Dick became president the very first time, I felt it. I felt thousands of people feeling the same way that I did in that moment. And I view that like that. What is that? Collective grief or something? Or collective something? Does anybody else experience that? Um, and I don't know why I just said that either. I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode. I don't know what the fuck my brain is doing to me this week. Sometimes it's been good, sometimes not so good. Like I forgot what today was. It's Friday, right? Yeah. I need to just not stay up all night and because I'm getting my days mixed up in my time. And anyways, I hope this episode was relatable. I feel better now that I got all that out of my head. And I would really be so sad if nobody emailed me and said that like they had a similar experience to me or that they have these thoughts that I do when they're watching things. Oh God. Well, I feel better now. Um, thank you for listening if you're still here. And oh God. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and publish this. Bye.